Alright, let's see who we got. 5-time rappers got killed over a diss track. I know a lot of Baton Rouge niggas should be on this list. Let's see what
rappers beefing. It's just how it goes in the hip-hop game, and diss tracks are the main way to throw down. But some cats take the tracks too seriously, and sometimes it ends with somebody getting dropped. So here, 5 times rappers got killed over some diss tracks. Starting with OG Man Man, who might say he ain't a rapper, but this dude dropped hip-hop's most demonic diss track with an equally brazy music video. The track titled Truth wasn't just a diss aimed at his ops, it was a suicide note that eventually got him smoked. OG Man Man was one of the biggest hitters in the DMV area, and for context, that area had some of the most ruthless street dudes standing on business round the clock. From the OGs to the youngins as little as 13 years old, neighborhoods were terrorized and ops were drilled. But OG Man Man was always there to up the scores. He wasn't just living in the trenches, he was the trenches. You can find him posted up on the block with his hitters any day.
Sound like he was one of them little badass little kids they used to call Man Man with the little fucking silver slugs in their mouth at fucking 3 years old and shit.
He didn't care for anybody that played with his name in any sort of way and was with all the smoke. As a matter of fact, he welcomed it with open arms. But in the hood, if you don't look over your shoulders, your head's gonna get blown off. And if you mess with an OG, you gotta stick to the lick. In this case, OG Man Man messed with a homie turned op, Big Flock, and that marked the beginning of his downfall. You see, Big Flock, real name Charles Ulysses Bowman, is a Maryland rapper who's no less of a savage than his former homie OG Man Man. Growing up on Maxwell Drive and Morrison Avenue, he had to cope with his dad being behind bars, as he lived with his grandparents. However, when his granddad passed, his life took a turn down a darker path. The streets became his guide as he hustled hard, and with no more tears to hide, he turned his pain into stride. But in that life, he found rap, and around the young age of 11, Flock was already putting his pen to work, writing
I don't know none of these
out of the hood before they fell apart, pushing Big Flock to chase a solo rap career. Now, where exactly does OG Man Man and his diss track come in all of this? We're getting to that right now. During the early stages of his career, Big Flock kept a strong bond with one of his own.
I remember niggas used to ride on them little motherfuckers. I ain't never had one, but I remember
during the early stages of his career, Big Flock kept
I don't see nobody with them bitches now.
A strong bond with one of his homies, C. Diddy. Now, C. Diddy held it down.
Mike Tyson fell off that bitch and broke some bones. I ain't seen nobody else ride it since.
For him when things got tough, and even his first mixtape, Triluminati, was recorded in C. Diddy's living room. They were locked in real tight, but unfortunately C. Diddy got dropped. Although cops say he died when he got drunk and fell off a bridge.
What?
Now at the time of C. Diddy's death, OG Man Man and Big Flock were pretty cool because Man Man had earned the reputation on the streets for being a certified hitter. He was always down to catch a body, no matter the stakes. Now, Big Flock and OG Man Man were a hard-hitting hood duo. They both served time in jail, both had hard rap flows, and both ran blocks on the street. But their friendship would break apart for 2 reasons, with the more important one being about some girl, obviously. I mean, we all know dudes acting a fool for a shouty, knowing fully well she'll be on to the next faster than Kendrick can drop an album. This time, however, it was Man Man found out about it and went on to diss OG Man Man in a song on his debut album, Glockism. In the song titled Intro, Big Flock said,
"Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
That's who the niggas who died the most.
Turned to informant. Thought that he was real. He put on a good performance."
That diss was Big Flock's way of saying OG Man Man was a rat for the feds. That was a big one, cause Man Man was behind bars when that song dropped, making him a target for gangsters in prison, and even his own gang when he got out. Big Flock single-handedly tarnished OG Man Man's street cred, and in turn, Man Man wasn't about to let that slide. Once he made it out of prison, he got his lick in, and dropped one of the most disrespectful disses ever. The lyrics to the track and even the video were so gory, DJ Academic straight up called it demonic.
Listen, I made a good call a couple months ago after hearing one of the most demonic songs I've ever heard.
The track was titled Truth, and its video saw Man Man in a mask flashing his straps left and right at the grave of Big Flock's dead homie, C. Diddy. Remember we told you C. Diddy and Flock were really tight? Well, Man Man wanted to piss the out of Flock, shot that music video of this diss track right in front of C. Diddy's grave. Some of the most hard-hitting lyrics to the song say,
"I know why you mad, cause I'm your Lucas. Stop playing with me,
and talking about I'm snitching. Rest in peace to Lil Chris. Yeah, I know they miss him. Don't trip. His whole squad gonna lay there with him. Holy shit. I mean, dude went on Big Flock dropping diss after diss throughout the entire track. But the height of his disrespect was talking about C. Diddy and pouring out bottles of Ace of Spades on the ground while the news report from C. Diddy's death played in the background. And after that, he popped in a clip of him lighting C. Diddy's photo on fire, increasing that disrespect to C. Diddy and his crew. As bad as it sounds, Man Man didn't stop there. He talked about how Flock wasn't a real gangster and how he handled his business for him, while also inserting another clip of a man falling from a building to mock the way C. Diddy reportedly died. Oh, the song did numbers with OG Man Man even considering making a full-time transition to rap, but Big Flock and his other homies made sure that never happened. You see, on June 12th, 2016, OG Man Man had gotten a phone call from somebody who wanted to come over to a cookout that was taking place in Southeast DC. When he pulled up, it was already too late. Someone walked up to him with a burner, and without making small talk, fired multiple shots into Man Man, ending his to him with a burner. And without making small talk, fired multiple shots into Man Man, ending his life on the spot. As expected, all fingers pointed to Big Flock as the man behind the murder. Subsequently, the cops raided Flock's home, finding more ammo than needed to start World War III. Alright, we're exaggerating, but really, we're not lying when we say this man's house had everything a gangster would need, from top-tier like, semi-automatic rifles to narcotics worth thousands of dollars. Since there was no way to prove his involvement in Man Man's death, he was instead charged with illegal possession of firearms and drugs. He took a plea deal and got 45 months of jail time for this, and just like we already said, the honey that started this whole lame beef moved on. G Money. September 10th, 2017, Louisiana rapper Real G Money was outside the parking lot of his Baton Rouge studio on Dallas Drive when he got taken out. Rumors suggest that the hit was ordered by his child.
About fucking his sister or some shit. Where I think he used to date his sister. Young boy was mad.
Childhood homie NBA Youngboy. But why exactly would Youngboy have wanted him dead? Homies turning rivals is the type of shit that runs the rap game. It ain't new and it'll never get old. But in the case of G Money and Youngboy, things got a little too nasty. Now we gotta know Baton Rouge, Louisiana is a hardcore place to live. The streets are rough and gangs run deep. Crime and violence are everyday things and it's a constant battle to stay safe. The hood life there's intense and you can feel the tension everywhere. It's pretty much a war zone and you must never get caught lacking to thrive out there. For G Money, aka Garrett Burton, he was covering his little homie's back, NBA Youngboy.
I think he was one of the first niggas
before Youngboy became the global artist he is today. G Money was 4 years older, so he guided Youngboy into the ways of the street. They were both cool until G Money had some stuff to do with NBA Youngboy's sister, Telly Golden. According to G Money himself, he f***ed Youngboy's sister, and although Youngboy wasn't tripping about it at the time,
now, I heard about it, but I ain't never seen her before. I ain't know that.
It became one of their biggest issues down the line. As the years went by, G Money and Youngboy performed.
Never talk about Youngboy's sister. Like after this, like they talk about it when it got something to do with G Money, but after this, you don't never hear about Youngboy's sister or brothers or none of that.
Both under the group TBG, aka Top Boy Gorilla. But after a while, Youngboy cut himself out of that group and started his own label, NBA, standing for Never Broke Again. As the spotlight shone on Baton Rouge, NBA Youngboy and Boozy were two of the biggest names to go mainstream. Then Youngboy's relationship with G Money became rocky until the duo fell out. August 2017, a month before his death, G Money did an interview with Say Cheese TV, revealing that he and Youngboy would never do music together and that Youngboy was still angry because he slept with his sister. Now this probably was the first time their core fans had heard about that, so blew up online. Following that, G Money released a diss track titled Industry, where he straight up violated NBA Youngboy and his sister. Some lyrics of that track go like this. All you pussy is lame, sneak dissing on them songs. I don't do it for the fame. See, you should be ashamed. I put a 30 up under my pistol. Your sister swallowed nuts, so I never kissed her. But I f*** with her, so I never dissed her. Now after that track dropped, NBA Youngboy...
Nigga gotta come see you after that. Nigga do gotta come see you after that,
G Money kept beefing on social media, making the NBA and TBG rivalry even hotter. Less than a month later, G Money got taken out. Folks were gonna point fingers at Youngboy because of their beef, and right after G Money got dropped, Youngboy's crew got into a deadly shootout in Miami. But one question remaining unanswered is, did Youngboy take out G Money himself? The judicial system certainly didn't believe so. A member of the NBA, 26-year-old Lil Pap, was interrogated by police officers during which he confessed to have told his mother to leave their home because he feared a retaliation. He also took
that's why I hate doing shit when niggas was in the streets, like beefing and shit, when a nigga know where your mama stay at, or when you stand with your mama, you know what I'm saying, and nigga could come straight to that house. That's the worst feeling ever, boy.
His mom and his son to hide out at New Road
until your mama move, or make you want to move your mama out the streets, move your mama out to a different spot or something. But yeah, shit get ugly.
Roads, Louisiana, after G Money died. And the biggest blow on him was when he lied to the cops that he drove to Hammond, Louisiana to get gas the day G Money was killed, when in fact he was in Baton Rouge according to his device's location records. Shell casings on Jefferson Ave in Baton Rouge matched the ones from when G Money got clapped. This made detectives believe Lil Pap tossed the burner by handing it off to some folks on that same avenue. Pap's phone records also showed he was hitting up those people just hours after G Money got smoked. He was initially charged with second-degree murder, but took a plea deal for a lesser charge of accessory after he was indicted on a new charge that suggested he simply was in the car with a group of people that included G Money's killer. Prosecutors alleged in this new indictment that Lil Pap assisted the shooter after he dropped G Money. Nonetheless, Lil Pap was sentenced to 5 years in prison, which he served concurrently with a 3-year sentence on a separate federal weapons charge. As for NBA Youngboy, well, let's just say he got some other shit to deal with. FBG Duck. July 10th, 2020, Chicago rapper FBG Duck released Dead Bitches, one of the most dreaded diss tracks in hip-hop, where he mocked dead rival gang members. But just 3 weeks later, he was dead. Now, while many believe this diss track was the motive for getting him dropped by his ops, the shit he'd done was way deeper than that. FBG Duck, real name Carlton D. Weekly, was born on December 6th, 1993 in Chicago, Illinois. This guy had 7 siblings, and most of them were in the street life that came with the South Side. Now, his elder brother Brick was shot and killed by some gang members, and while Duck never wanted no smoke from all that hood violence, he ended up getting sucked in regardless. The majority of gang-related shootings in Chicago have been perpetrated by 2 rival gangs, O-Block and STL-EBT. Duck was a member of STL, and even as a teenager, he threw hands anytime he got confronted by O-Block members. Now, around 2009, he became friends with another gangster named Tuka. But just a few years into their friendship, Tuka got smoked for dissing deceased members of another gang, TYMB. Now, TYMB and O-Block were cool, so they ganged up against STL, and sadly, Duck fell for their tricks. He became friends with King Von, who only got close to him to get some inside information on STL. However, after Duck found out Von was playing both sides, he and the rest of his gang jumped Von on a bus. Now, this caused Von to vow revenge on anyone involved, and fueling his hatred for Duck. By this time, O-Block and STL-EBT were in a full-blown war, and the violence was inescapable. This was also the period that Duck got into the rap game. All the beef he had with rappers from Glory Boys Entertainment and OTF pushed him to flex his pen and spit bars. Chief Keef, the leader of GBE at the time, dissed Tuka Gang in multiple songs. And in retaliation, Duck and other Flyboy gang members made their own songs dissing Chief Keef and other members of his group. Duck also dissed Von, Lil Durk, and other members of OTF. Now, Duck was so out of pocket back then that he even made a song about the time his girlfriend stabbed him in the stomach. It was pretty crazy. But as the story goes, Duck's girlfriend stabbed him in the stomach. And in some visuals of his song with Lil J titled Who the F is Dude, FBG Duck shows this stab wound. That's definitely some out of pocket stuff, but here's the thing. In 2017, FBG Duck released his biggest song to date, Slide. Now, this song was an instant hit. It was everywhere in the city. Radio, streams, clubs, everywhere around Chicago, even O-Block territory. That track went to gold certified, allowing Duck to score a record deal with Sony. And after the success of Slide, Duck tried extending his hand out several times to make peace with his ops to move on with his career. But Durk and King Von wanted no peace.
Nigga get a deal and get some money. He like, man, we want to make peace, man. So I don't die out here while I'm getting this money. No, nigga.
They continued dissing him and his people, dead or alive. So Duck returned the favor with his diss track, Dead Bitches. But now we already know how that story goes from there. Dead Bitches wasn't just a diss track. It was a violation to Black Disciple gang members. Some of those lyrics go like this.
Said I wasn't gonna diss the dead, and okay, I did it. But give T-Roy and OD, them dead bitches. Y'all heard about J Money? is getting dead the same way.
Those lines were lyrical sniper shots aimed at T-Roy, OD, J-Money, Lil Boo, and Sharoid. All the members of Black Disciples who were each killed in separate incidents over the year.
You supposed to make up some other nigga names or something, you hear me, to do the exact rap about the exact opposite of what you plan on doing or what you already did. These niggas gonna tell you exactly how it went down.
Again, that song made headlines, but for the wrong reasons. The Black Disciples gang placed a 50 grand bounty on Duck's head, and would even take it up to 100 when the dude was still breathing. So guessing these gangbangers were after him, FBG Duck posted a video lashing out on gang members who killed their ops while they were with kids.
I've got 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl, and if I catch a nigga with his daughter, I'm gonna give him a pass because that's the heart of me. Because I don't want them to take me in front of my kids.
It used to be like that.
While he was making a point here, it almost seemed like he knew what was coming. And maybe he did, because 2 weeks after posting that video, he got taken out. 4:26 p.m. on August 4th, 2020, FBG Duck was assassinated by 4 people who got out of 2 cars and shot him while he was shopping with his girlfriend in Chicago. This guy was shot 38 times, receiving gunshot wounds to the neck, chest, and groin. Police arrived at the scene, but for some unknown reason neglected to apply pressure to Duck. He was still alive and moving 20 minutes after the shooting. However, the cops here didn't attempt CPR and instead allowed Duck to bleed out. By the time paramedics came, it was too late. Duck had lost so much blood he'd finally collapsed on the stretcher. After the first surgery an hour later, he was pronounced dead. The crazy twist to this story is, had he been flown to the hospital in a more timely manner, maybe, just maybe, he would have survived. And just like he mocked his dead rivals, some of his ops did the same to him. After his death, rival rapper and Black Disciples member 600 Breezy dropped a track titled "Stop Playing." Ain't that FB?
The mamas and all them won't get mad afterwards, but fuck, you don't realize your son did the exact same thing. Like, he wasn't no saint at all.
E.G. Duck. The lyrics go.
Get dead on that fucking block, this song's gonna get you shot next time your bitch ass is in the box.
600 Breezy takes it further, posting messages from his supporters, referring to him as a fortune teller with a crystal ball. And 6 months after Duck's death, his ops struck again by dropping his friend, BCR Meezy. As of right now, 6 gang members have been convicted for FBG Duck's murder, with each receiving a mandatory life sentence. Before you say some zesty shit about how tough for you, if you've been a long-time fan of hip-hop, you'd recall Tupac's famous song, Hit 'Em Up, which was essentially one of the most well-put-together diss tracks of all time. Now this song, or should I say diss track, was aimed specifically at all them East Coast rappers. Biggie Smalls, Sean Puffy Combs, Chino XL, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Lil Caesar, and every rap dude signed with Bad Boy Records. Some of the lyrics to the track go like this.
First off, fuck your bitch and the clique you claim. West side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fucked for life.
Now this is hands down the most violent, eccentric, and over-the-top diss track ever recorded. It shaped the future for gangster rap, hip-hop, music, and entertainment in general. But while it had plenty of entertainment value, it wasn't made for entertainment purposes. It was literally a recorded death threat. A threat Tupac never got to carry out as he was murdered just 3 months after it was released. So, why do we believe that this was the reason he got dropped? Well, one thing you gotta understand is threatening an entire list of rappers who ran NYC was definitely attracting some blow. And on top of that, Tupac ran on a dude in a parking garage after a Tyson fight, and then hours later, he was dropped. That guy was Orlando Anderson, a well-known member of the Crips, and it just happened to be that Marion Suge Knight, the owner of Death Row Records, which Tupac was signed to, was a member of the Bloods, a formidable rival gang of the Crips. Suge had not signaled this by wearing red throughout most of his public appearances, but has verbally acknowledged this information. Now here's the banger. In the 2018 documentary titled American Dream, American Nightmare, Suge claimed that Pac was also a member of the Bloods.
I'm also have no beef with that. I'm a red rag, so.
Money.com.
Pac did used to wear red for it. You know what it was. So for you to do that and not be a blood, then hey, that was your mistake. Pac probably got put down, didn't have to do all the shit that Bloods had to do, but I'm pretty sure somebody put him down.
And if this ain't some BS, then that means Tupac wasn't just a gangster rapper, he was an actual active member of one of the largest and most violent street gangs in America. It meant that he didn't just rap about gangs, dude lived that life to the top. Gang members get dropped every other day, or get their bums shipped off to prison, just as Pac was, even before his death. November 30th, 1994. Pac pulls up to the Quad Recording Studios in New York
to record a few... I'm still trying to go to that studio to this day because it's still open in New York. I keep saying that I got to go out there to New York and at least record one song, and I want to see the elevator and everything. I want to see what it look like now.
And other rappers already waiting for him. However, as he moves up the stairs, he gets shot 5 times by 3 hitters who also robbed him. Obviously, he survived, and Pac was convinced that Biggie ordered that drop, prompting him to release multiple diss tracks aimed at Biggie and his homies. This began that feud between the rappers, but on a larger scale, it began the freaking East-West Coast rivalry. This led Pac putting the pen down and recording multiple tracks, including Hit 'Em Up, where he dissed all of them. He would take every chance he got to let everybody know Biggie Smalls ordered the lick on him, right up to the moment he was dropped after the Mike Tyson fight we've already said. Now, some dudes believe Suge was behind Pac's murder, based on unverifiable rumors that Pac wasn't happy at Death Row Records. He may have been planning to take his talents to another label. While that's possible, it didn't really make sense, because Suge was in the very same car Tupac was when them dudes ran up on him. In fact, Suge himself pulled out his chopper and started firing back while they sprayed his car. Call us crazy, that doesn't exactly sound like an ideal way to have someone killed. It'd be a great way to have yourself killed in the process. But till date, Tupac's murder's still a mystery in pop culture, with everyone expressing their own opinion and conspiracy about who ordered the hit. And quite frankly, it shouldn't even be that way. We don't find it surprising when other gang members or gang rappers are killed in cold blood. Nobody attaches any mystique to it.
Fuck who ordered the hit, bro. Pac just motherfucking beat your boy ass, and he's a known gang member, bro. Nigga wasn't letting that shit slide for nothing, even if somebody did put a hit months ago. Nigga, you just came over here and inserted yourself in some shit that had nothing to do with you, and that's why fucking Pac died.
Because it's Pac what we almost expect
down
to
bad from stepping in and doing that, hitting your boy and doing that fight here, because he started that shit. He walked straight over there and just punched the nigga like, come on, man.
Happened, unfortunately. However, if Tupac was really an active member of the Bloods and not just an affiliate due to his relationship with the Death Row Records founder, we shouldn't be questioning the reason for his death. I mean, would we question how somebody with a violent track record, gang affiliations, a deep hatred for police, millions of dollars, who'd almost been killed just a few years prior, could have possibly been murdered? And although it'd still be sad, book after book and documentary after documentary wouldn't have been respectfully written and made about it. Frankly, nobody would care. And don't get us wrong, I'm not implying we shouldn't care. Especially in Tupac's case, as he's still, to this day, one of the most influential rappers of all time. We're simply stating that most wouldn't.
Pac, one of the only niggas from back in the day who I say you could listen to his music now and still feel that shit. You can't do that with Biggie. You can't still feel Biggie music when you listen to it today. The beats, all that shit is outdated. But Pac had something, dog.
And with a diss track that deadly, released barely weeks before his death, we think the motive behind his death has been in our faces all along.
One of the only few niggas who I still could
Lil
listen to
JoJo.
back in the day.
September 4th, 2012. Chirac's own Lil JoJo got murked in a drive-by after he got caught up in beef he should have never gotten into in the first place. It all began on January 4th, 2012, when some homie dropped a 4-minute, 40-second video on Worldstar Hip Hop's website. The video showed a little kid, maybe just 6 years old, straight losing his mind because Chief Keef had just gotten out of the pen. This video blew up with everyone asking who Chief Keef was, and it turned out he was a 16-year-old Chirac rapper named Keith Kozart. Cops say he's repping the Black Disciples. While dude got locked up real quick for some gun charges, but luckily he bounced back out. Once out, Keith started grinding, dropping vids left and right, even from his grandma's crib while on house arrest. One of them joints was 300, with the 300 being a shout out to the Black Disciples. The internet was a buzz, with his vids blowing up. Just this new kid on the block. People were digging his vibe, feeling that raw energy, and even the street cred he brought. One of his videos, I Don't Like, racked up over 16 million views on YouTube, and even Kanye would even jump on that remix, taking Keef's wave to a whole new level. At that point, the labels were all up on him. Despite all the gang talk in his rhymes, especially with Chicago's murder rate making headlines, Keef went with Interscope Records, signing a deal worth $3 million, plus a movie deal. Now from the turf of another gang just 3 blocks away, we have rapper Lil JoJo wanting some clout of his own. So he starts a rap feud with Keef in the East-West Coast style of Biggie and Tupac. Now you see, Lil JoJo was a part of a group named 069 Brick Squad, a faction of the deadly Gangsta Disciples. He posted a lot of videos dissing Keef, including 300K, where the K stood for Killer. In this video, JoJo and his homies waved some heavy machines, sending a threat to Keef and his gang. JoJo's brother, Cash Out, takes it a step further, calling Keef's mom, recording her scared voice over speakerphone. That shit's mad brazy. And it didn't stop there. At 4:04 p.m. on September 4th, JoJo drops a video of him and his crew rolling into Keef's hood, talking mad smack at Keef's boy, Lil Reese. Oh, you can hear someone yell, "I'ma kill you," and that wasn't a rap lyric, they meant it. Later, as it got dark, JoJo was tweeting that he was out on 69th Street, signifying that he was ready to throw shit if some ops came through. But a few minutes later, as
Lil Reese, and it looked like he had shitted on himself, but they said it was just the draws, but I don't know. But
JoJo was right in
that shit funny. It show you it can happen to anybody. The gangster niggas who acting like that. You nigga could catch you lagging on you by yourself, and it's 4-5 niggas, and yeah, it could happen to you. Same way you used to do other niggas.
Homie's bike. A tan Ford Taurus rolls up and takes multiple shots at him, dropping him to the ground. Right after it happened, Keef took to Twitter to clown JoJo, saying that JoJo wanted to always be like him. Folks online didn't trip much about Keef rapping about gangs and guns before, but dissing a dead teen lit up the internet with outrage. People were heated, and there was even talk about Interscope dropping his contract over it. Keef then came out with some excuse claiming that his Twitter was hacked. Now, no one believed that crap, and Lil JoJo's killer or killers were never caught. Here we are 12 years later, and the case has long been closed. He might be gone, but Lil JoJo will always be remembered by the gangster disciples around the world and the real ones who loved his music.
I'm glad people don't sag as hard as they used to, boy, because that shit just was getting ridiculous, you hear me? But if y'all like that one, man, like, comment, and subscribe, and we gonna go on to the next one.